about fire extinguishers and the different aspects of the fire extinguisher. We're going to be talking about the different classes, the A, B, C, D, and even K fire extinguisher classes. We're going to be talking about the different sizes, your smalls, mediums, larges, and they even make a super size for those super big fires. We're going to be also talking about how to perform a monthly inspection. It's important that you inspect these monthly and make sure they're in good working order. And we're going to be talking about how to properly use a fire extinguisher by discussing the pass method of operation. Stay tuned for more instructions. A fire takes three things to burn. It takes oxygen, it takes a heat source, and it also takes fuel. You remove any one of those characteristics and a fire will be snuffed out immediately. How a fire extinguisher works is it will either remove the oxygen from the source or it will remove the heat from the source, or it don't really remove the fuel. I mean, the fuel's there. I mean, come on, people, it's a fuel. But fun little fact, little nugget, little tidbit. The first fire extinguisher on record as being patented was patented in 1723 in England. It was the first fire extinguisher on record, and it was invented by a little guy named Ambrose Godfrey. So hats off to you, Ambrose. And now we're going to talk about different sizes of fire extinguishers. As you can see, as I said earlier in our introduction, we have a small, medium, large, larger, and largest. They actually don't call them small, medium, and large. They actually classify them as pounds. The smallest, portable canisters like we have here, range all the way from 1 pound to 31 pounds. And they actually have some that's mounted on carts, and they're 51-pound behemoths. So what we have here is a 3-pound fire extinguisher. These are what you usually carry in your trucks, your service trucks, your LP trucks. They take bigger ones. We'll get back to that one. Also your tractors and your sprayers and your spreaders, we usually put the 3-pound canisters in them. Just a little tidbit of information. The 3-pounder comes in handy for putting out bird nest fires before they get out of control. I know more than once, just word on the street, I haven't really experienced it because I usually try to check to see if there's a bird nest under the hood before you fire it up. But if you forget and you catch it on fire, the 3-pounders will usually put out a bird nest. Just a little piece of information, freebie, no charge. Over here we got it says 7 pounds 9 ounces minimum, 8 pounds 5 ounce max. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably an 8 ounce, an 8 pound, 8 pound fire extinguisher. I would say that's a medium. You got yourself a large. Oh my, that's a monster. Whew. What we got here? It looks like about a 10-pounder. Let's see. Just over 10 pounds once you add the tag and the pin. So and the hardware. Yeah, that's just over 10 pounds. A lot of times you have these medium and large size ones, the 8 and the 10. You'll have them in your offices. A lot of times you'll have them in your shop hanging up. Sometimes you can use them as coat hooks. You know, if maybe the coat hooks are all taken and you need someplace to hang your coveralls, there's a little hook. They got a little hook right here that holds these up, and you can actually just hang your coat right over the top. Wrong! You want to keep your fire extinguishers clear so you can get to them in an emergency. Now you also got some bigger fire extinguishers. You got I'm not really sure how large they go. I do know, according to Wikipedia, they go up to 31 pounds, like I mentioned before. But on our LP trucks and our fuel trucks, you have to have a larger fire extinguisher. I believe they're 20 pounds. I think they got to be 18 pounds. I think we put 20 pounds on it. If I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will tell you otherwise. So, pretty sure it's 20 though. But that pretty much covers the sizes. Like I said, you got your babies over here at 1 pound, and then you got your behemoths over here at 31 pounds. To operate a portable fire extinguisher, you will want to use the PASS method. That is PASS. P stands for pulling the pin. Just one P, not pull and pin. You just one P for pin, or for pull. Either way, it could be for pull or it could be for pin. You've got two P's there, so you'd want to choose one. Let's just say pull. You'll pull the pin right here. You'll yank that baby out of there. And you want to use kind of a twisting motion. I've seen that on the internet. You want to twist that a little bit, and whenever you twist it, it'll snap this yellow doohickey right in half, and then you're able to yank it out of there. So the twisting motion is a key right there. And now your next one is an A for aim. What you'll do is step back, about 8 to 10 feet. You want to be more than 6 inches away from the flame, but you want to be closer than 40 to 50 feet from the flame. So it seems like your 8 to 10 feet is probably your sweet spot. You'll aim at the base of the fire. Now your next S is squeeze. I know it says D there, but if you said depress instead of squeeze, it would be pads, and pass is a little catchier, so we'll say squeeze. You'll want to squeeze the two levers together, right up here, right next to the yellow doohickey and the pin. So you'll squeeze, and then lastly, you will sweep side to side. You'll take this little hose, the one that you aimed at the base of the fire, and you'll sweep side to side in a sweeping fashion. Notice I'm stressing the word sweep. You want to sweep side to side after you squeeze the levers together. You want to pretend like this is similar to a broom. You want to sweep, just like you're sweeping up dirt on the shop floor. You'll want to sweep the base of that fire. Sweeping is the key to successfully extinguishing a fire. So that's our air compressor. So there you have it. Sweep, P-A-S-S. You want to pull a pin, aim at the base, squeeze the levers, and sweep it. Fire extinguishers are divided into different classes. You'll have a class A, a class B, a class C, and there's also a class D and a class K. Now we're going to get ready and talk about the different classes of fire extinguishers. As I said before, we have a class A, B, C, D, and K. The class A fire extinguisher will have a picture of a little trash can and a campfire on fire there. Just got a little pile of wood and got a little trash can there. Well, what that actually represents, folks, is combustible materials. has your papers, cardboard, a little cup, a blue rag, and a McDonald's sack, all of which is combustible materials. Tires is also included in that lot. Next, we've got a Class B. Your Class B will show a little gas can there with a big old fire around it. And as I forgot to mention, Class A stands for ash. Class B stands for barrel, as in oil barrel. Now your Class B fire extinguisher will put out your flammable liquids as gasoline, diesel, oil, or any other petroleum substance. Next we have a Class C. A Class C fire extinguisher will be shown, it'll show a little extension cord with a little socket right there with a bunch of fire shooting out of the wall. That's your number one indication something's gone wrong. Your Class C stands for current, as in electrical current. Class C will put out all sorts of electrical equipment and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. The electrical stuff, you know, we've all used it, folks. It's electricity. Oh, that Thomas Edison. So there's also a Class D. A Class D is not shown here because this isn't a Class D fire extinguisher. A Class D fire extinguisher is made for your flammable metals. Magnesium comes to mind. And that's all I really looked up was a magnesium, so Wikipedia is kind of limited again. So anyway, we got the Class D, which stands for dynamite. D for dynamite. A is for ash. B is for barrel, like oil barrels. C is for current. And D is for dynamite. And last, there is a Class K fire extinguisher, which stands for kitchen. And those are mainly meant for the cooking industry, to put out grease fires and all kinds of grease fire related incidents. So there you go, A, B, C, D, and K. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. That baby got out of hand in a hurry. Holy smokes! That refinery went up like a turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Gee willikers, that's gonna cost them. Next, we're going to discuss the monthly inspections that should be performed on each fire extinguisher at your location. When inspecting a fire extinguisher, the first step is to assign someone at each plant to inspect each extinguisher to make sure it gets done. The first step in inspecting an actual extinguisher is to check the fire extinguisher type. The type, as we discussed before, is shown here, A, B, and C. The reason why you want to check the type is you wouldn't want a Class A fire extinguisher inside a truck or a spreader or a sprayer where you might have electrical components and petroleum products. The next thing you want to check is the locking pin and the seal. As I referred to before, the yellow doohickey. It's actually a seal. So you want to check for the locking pin and the seal, and you want to check the physical condition of the fire extinguisher. You want to make sure that it's that the hose is intact, and make sure there's no dents, and make sure that it's all here. Like maybe you don't want to cut in half or anything, or you don't want a bunch of dents and just a bunch of stuff on it. Anyway, then you want to next you want to check the pressure gauge. That's seen right there, and you just want to make sure that it's in the green. Green is good, so it has plenty of pressure to put out the fire. All right, next you want to make sure that the operating instructions are legible on it. Make sure that the label ain't peeled away and something covered up or marked out. You just want to make sure it's all there. And last, you want to check the tag. You want to make sure that the tag is up to date. There's a guy that comes around. You'll have a professional fire extinguisher contractor come around and put these tags on them when he inspects them yearly. He does it every 12 months. At each location, we need to inspect them every month, once a month. And as you can see here, this one is up to date. He was here February the 25th of 2013. So he'll come back next February and do another inspection. You just want to make sure everything's there so it's ready if you need it.